This is Small Biz Florida, the podcast designed and produced specifically for Florida small business owners and entrepreneurs. Small Biz Florida, talk that works for Florida. This podcast is supported by the Florida SBDC Network, providing the tools, strategies, and expertise to help Florida's business community thrive. Visit the Florida SBDC online at www.floridasbdc.org or contact your local office and get started on your path to success today.
Welcome to another segment of Small Biz Florida, the podcast and broadcast that's all things business across the state of Florida. I am Tom Kindred, and I serve as your host of Small Biz Florida. Coming to you from the Florida Small Business Development Center Network and produced right here at Indian River State College. We've got with us two of my very good friends. We go way back in this business along the Treasure Coast. We've got with us Miss Susan Haggart, who is the Talent Development and Engagement Manager with FloridaMakes. Susan, it's great to see you again, and welcome to Small Biz Florida.
Oh, it's good to see you again. Thank you, Tom.
And we've got our very good friend, Marcelo Dossantos, who serves as the Director for Talent Development for FloridaMakes. Welcome to Small Biz Florida.
Thank you, Tom.
You're not new to our program. You've been on a couple of times, Marcelo, so I appreciate you making a repeat appearance.
Good to be back.
Listen, you guys, incredible program that you both are with and represent, good, strong partners with the Florida SBDC Network. FloridaMakes, an organization that advocates and is a leadership organization for Florida's manufacturing community. So let's start there really quickly. Just a little bit of background on FloridaMakes, the mission, the purpose of the organization.
So FloridaMakes, for those that don't know, is the manufacturing extension partnership for the state of Florida. We are actually governed by the National Institute of Standards and Technology and funded by the Department of Commerce. FloridaMakes' main objectives is to actually assist small and medium manufacturers in increasing their productivity and profitability.
Nice. Excellent goals and mission. Susan, kind of your take on FloridaMakes, and then what area you're working in that talent development area. Talk a little bit about your specific role with FloridaMakes.
Well, I joined FloridaMakes this year in January, so I've been there a few months. From what I see, FloridaMakes is really the resource for all of manufacturing facilities, employers, small, medium, or large, through the state of Florida. I think we generally focus on small and medium businesses because they generally don't know about a lot of the resources that are available to them, whether it's upskilling the employees they have, helping them to find talent, skilled talent, and then once they get the talent, how do you keep them? So that's one of our goals in helping them. Of course, supply chain has been an issue. So we try to find the resources to deal with that as well. So any kind of issues that are workforce related, Marcelo and I work on those projects, whether it's apprenticeship or internships or what have you.
Right. So again, FloridaMakes it really is an incredibly powerful resource for Florida's manufacturing community. And again, that we're going to have a whole nother show on all the resources about FloridaMakes because it really is an incredible organization. But today, you guys are leading the effort on a really unique and innovative program called the Employer of Choice program. And I just... when we had a conversation the other day about the program, I said, listen, we got to talk about this on Small Biz Florida. This really is an excellent opportunity to highlight Florida's manufacturing community and provide that assistance that you both have talked about. So let's get right into it. What is the Employer of Choice program and how does it tie into Florida's manufacturing community?
Sure. Let me give you a little background, Tom. As Susan alluded to, we have many years in workforce development. And upon joining FloridaMakes, we were actually thinking, what can we do in order to capture best practices out in the field and actually share with the entire manufacturing network on what it makes for a good, we're a great employer, right? Sometimes you walk into a company and you just feel that vibe that this is a great place to work. what are some of these companies doing that actually makes them a great place to work? Is it the benefits packet? Is it the wages? Is it the culture of the organization? So how do we get a program in place that encapsulates all that and actually captures the analytics that's necessary in order to share with the network, so that way they can actually repeat the process and make themselves a phenomenal place to work?
Wow. So basically, the Employer of Choice program is a recognition and awards program, but behind the recognition is this gathering of best practices information, really useful and valuable information for a manufacturer who right now is most likely struggling to recruit and develop talent. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Yeah. When you have a tight labor market where the unemployment rate is below 4%, dear God, anybody that wants to work is working. And the individuals that may want to work in manufacturing, probably coming from other industries, right, Sue? And how do we actually upskill these individuals and make sure they're retained in the companies that they're working for?
And I think at this point, it's also worth noting that, I go back to our old buddy, Joe Gorham, back in the early days of apprenticeships around the Treasure Coast market. I remember Joe constantly talking about these are careers. These are not. This is not just a job you go get at a manufacturing, especially in today's advanced manufacturing, space. These are really careers, great benefits, an opportunity to improve yourself through promotions and job positions. So just touch on that a little bit. Is that a fair statement that working in advanced manufacturing can really provide a career, not just a job?
Absolutely. If you're not aware, I think manufacturing has $68,000 is the medium, actually the average wage across the state of Florida. And when you come into manufacturing, you may start at the factory floor, but then you're going to get some upskilling, and which is going to progress your career moving forward. Right. We know of a great example of an individual in Brevard. She was working at Wendy's at minimum wage, single mother, and actually found a job in manufacturing, was actually assisted to be in the manufacturing sector. And she went through training of one apprenticeships that we have, and now she is a machinist level 2. And
making good money.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Wow. And I think there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of those very stories. People finding their way, folks finding their way into advanced manufacturing, and also I think it's worth also pointing out that there's multiple jobs in manufacturing.
Yes.
There's quality control, there's maintenance, there's management, supervisory. So there's a whole host of jobs, an array of jobs in manufacturing, not just assembling a part or a piece. Is that correct?
That is correct. In fact, a few years ago, there was an apprentice working for one of the major manufacturers down in Martin County who started the apprenticeship. He was thrilled to do it. And then he said to me, Susan, I hate to tell you this, but I don't like working on the manufacturing floor. I'm not done with the apprenticeship. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if I want to tell my supervisor. So I spoke with the HR director, who said, we love him. He's a great worker. We hate to lose him on the floor, but we're going to put him in the office doing as a documentation specialist. So they did, and now he's working in their purchasing department. So you may start in manufacturing and find other careers within that you want to jump over to. And most employers are just happy to keep a good employee, right, and they'll put them where they want to go.
Yeah, good point.
Let me jump on that, because that is a great example of what it takes to be an employer of choice, right? Recognizing that we all have different talents and go ahead and capitalize on those talents. So
that's right.
Just the employer making sure that individual is another fit within the organization is a great attribute. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why, I guess maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself with the question, but why would a manufacturer want to be involved in this employer of choice program? Is that the right question to ask?
That is a great question. So going back to the unemployment rates, right, being below 4%, it is a tough market. It is tough to actually recruit individuals. It's tough to retain individuals. Many folks are actually moving from company to company because it is a job seekers market. So how do you actually capitalize on being an employer of choice would be that by implementing some of the elements of what your peer companies may be doing in order to retain their workforce would actually help you in keeping your workforce. And implementing some of the elements that your peer companies may be utilizing in order to recruit will be, fantastic for you in order to be able to recruit more employees into your organization. So it gives you that baseline analytics that's necessary in order for you to make informed decisions about your recruitment, about your retention. For example, the survey itself, it's a very short 40-question survey, primarily related to your benefits, to company culture. What else is in there, Sue?
Well, there's an area where you can brag on your company too. These are the things that we do to set us apart from other companies, and it's amazing to see that because once they take the survey, whether they are a winner or not, it's great because they get this great analytics. Like Marcelo said, it's a great report, and it shows them other companies your size are a little ahead of you because of this reason. This is what they're doing differently. And it's not sharing your secrets. It's all, anonymous, but they'll see what other companies their size are doing and how they're doing it right. And you know what? When we did this program several years ago, I always met with the employers afterwards, and I shared the report with them, and they were always amazed. What do you mean they let their employees bring their dogs to work? I mean, there was always something that was just a little unusual.
That had to be a unique one there, Susan. Yes,
it was a very small company, but we all thought, "Oh, isn't that wonderful?" Yeah, my dog wouldn't do well with it, but so there's always something new that you learn from these reports.
So the price of admission for a manufacturer to get this feedback and get access to this data from across the state of Florida is they've got to complete their own application. Is that how this works? So give me kind of the process. How does one get involved and get access to this data?
That is true. So basically, there is no cost for the program. And the way that you actually do it, you go to our website, which is FloridaMakes.com/EOC, and you can actually start the survey. The first page that you're going to encounter is the company demographic. You fill that out, and it jumps to the next page, which is the actual questions for the survey. And you're going to be needing some information. So either the HR director or somebody in HR will be completing the survey, or someone in upper management that has access to benefits, to turnover rates, things of that nature. They know the onboarding process. That's huge these days. How do you actually onboard an employee? So somebody that's actually working in that aspect of the organization will be completing the survey, and that's all it takes. So once you go through it, it should take more than 60 minutes if you have the data in hand, and that's it. It's just complete and wait, and then. We'll be recognizing companies at the Make More Manufacturing Summit in October.
And also, I will say that it's a third party that is doing the compiling of all of the data, and will be telling us who the winners are. So, because we know a lot of these manufacturers, and to keep it fair, we're not doing the judging.
Right. And I think we talked the other day that to get down a little bit in the weeds on this application, if you do have the ability to look at it first and maybe sort of get your paperwork together, so when you do actually start answering questions, you can get through it pretty quickly. Is that do they have the ability to look at it and then go back to it?
Absolutely. Once you create your company profile, it's a login to basically go back in and do the survey. So as you compile the data, you can go in, put it in, save, go back if you need to get out, and complete it at a later stage.
Yeah, very small price to pay to get this kind of data back. I teach my entrepreneurship students all the time that one of the best places to get information about a business that they may want to start is from an association in that industry. Yes. And I tell them the story about the time that when I was in a particular industry, we had an association, and they produced what was called called a cost of doing business survey. Incredible report for me. And it was so valuable, they made us pay for it. But I bought that report every year, and I was able to look at all those data points from other businesses that were like mine and see how they were doing, compare myself. I'm assuming that's really what's going to happen here. You're going to get these data points. I'm going to be able to look at my manufacturing operation and say, what are others doing? Ratios, things that I can really look at.
That is exactly it. And you'd be amazed how many companies out there, maybe the HR department knows what the turnover rates are, but the company as a whole will not. It's one of those things that if it's not in your sphere of influence, you're not there. Even owners of companies themselves, I ask sometimes on calls, and I ask, well, what is your turnover rate? And they won't know. But this is one of those eye-openers. If you actually start benchmarking yourself and seeing what is taking place within your organization, you'll be able to make informed decisions with the data points, as you pointed out, right, to actually be a great place to work.
Right. And so when we hear manufacturers say, man, it's tough out there, gosh, what can I do? Are there thoughts, ideas? This is one of those thoughts and ideas. Yes, it may take a hour out of your week to get this done, but what valuable feedback you're going to get back, and certainly may help you long term in building the kind of workplace that is easy to recruit and easy to retain employees. Is that fair?
Yes, absolutely. And Susan, you can elaborate on that.
I think that employers, whether they say, oh, employer of choice, we're never going to be that, they absolutely need to do it just to get the data back. And then employers that say, everybody loves coming to work here, we don't have a problem getting people to work here, they should absolutely do it. When you think about it, if you win and you have an award and you get a big banner, what better thing to take to the job fair is the big banner saying that you are a Florida manufacturing employer of choice. So, people are going to flock to your booth to fill out an application or apply. So I think any business should apply. It's like we said, 30 to 60 minutes of your time. You don't have to do it all at once. Right. And there's no charge. You get a great report back.
Right. That's a fantastic point, Susan. Yeah, being able to brand yourself as an employer of choice, it is huge in itself. I mean, you pay dividends for years to come. Right. If you can actually, like you mentioned, put that banner out there and tell folks, look, this is, manufacturing employer of choice. Come work for us, and even the morale for the individuals that work for you. No, sometimes they're not aware, but if it gets spelled out and it's out there, it becomes reality, right? We are a fantastic place to work. That is why I should stay here.
Well, and again, like I said, small price to pay in what is a very tight job market. Yes. We're looking for ideas. We're looking for ways to enhance our recruitment abilities. This is one of those that is an easy way to get this to get something accomplished in the area of HR in the manufacturing space. So, incredible program, and I think Susan and Marcelo, you've both said it well. I mean, there's no cost to do this, and it pays big dividends.
For sure. And it's not just benefits driven. So let me give you an example. Well, Susan and I worked for a company for years, and one of the things that actually was my golden handcuffs that kept me there is the ability to have every other Friday off. Many times you don't think about it, but it's just a peace of mind that, wait a second, I can have a 3-day weekend. And many times I wouldn't even take it because I had work to do. But just the knowledge of knowing that I could take a 3-day weekend because I had one every other week kept me around. It's a fantastic perk. There are companies out there that offer an 8:30 to 3 p.m. Schedule, being flexible for mothers to have to drop their kids, and pick them up after school.
Yes.
If you want to encourage women to join manufacturing, those are some of the things that you have to do. You can't negate the fact that they're mothers that have, that obligation to take care of.
Yeah. So again, those are all the kinds of ideas that an employer and a manufacturer can get access to by participating in this employer of choice program.
Yes. Yeah. And then next year, apply again and get your report and see where you've gone up. See where you've increased in certain areas, whether it's flex time or what have you, offering new programs and your benefits. So it's nice to take a look back and say, look what we've done this year, and share it with your employees.
Yep.
There was mention of a company in the Midwest who is a manufacturer, and they had their own banner made. I think it was like a 20-foot banner or something, and every year they strung it up outside their building. So everyone driving by would know they were an employer of choice in manufacturing. And every year they were so sure they were going to win it the next year that they got T-shirts for all the people in the manufacturing floor. So, it's great morale.
Go ahead, Marcelo.
No, I was going to mention, Tom, it goes without saying, right? Manufacturing, more than any other sector, is actually struggling to attract individuals to work in manufacturing. For years now, we've been telling our kids, you must go to college, and that's the mantra that every parent preaches. And then you have on the other side all these baby boomers just in droves leaving the sector. Now, how do you capture that institutional knowledge, and who are you going to pass it to if you don't have anybody coming in to replace those workers? So one aspect of our jobs is changing career perceptions, and we partner with schools and K-12 districts across the state of Florida. The regional manufacturing associations, heavily involved in that process, and companies out there that manufacture, because we know that is something that needs to be done. And it goes right along with this. It is not the altruistic approach of, if you were to complete the survey, it provides better data, so we all are better informed. But also is a small contribution that you can make. If I know, that company A has an 80-20 split where 80% of boomers they're there, and 20% Gen X or Gen Z and Gen Y. It's one of those things that we need to know in order to figure out what is it that we can do, can we implement, that we can come up with in order to assist future recruitment of individuals.
Incredible program. I am so glad we've had this opportunity to talk about it and present it and spread the word on it. It is the Employer of Choice program brought to you by FloridaMakes, a great friend and partner with the Florida SBDC Network. All participating manufacturers will receive a valuable benchmarking analytics report based on the survey results. There's no downside to this. It's a little bit of time in completing the survey, but again, a very small price to pay for the information you're going to get in return. So again, Marcelo, how does one access this survey, and which really is their application to the Employer of Choice Awards program?
Sure, Tommy. Yeah, you can go to FloridaMakes.com/EOC and complete the application there. It's simple, easy to do, and
If somebody has any questions about the program or questions about Florida Makes, where do they go for that?
They can contact us directly. So you want to give your email?
Yes, my email is susan.haggard, HAGGARD, @FloridaMakes.com.
All right. Okay.
And if you guys want to contact me, in case you cannot reach Sue, it's Marcelo, MARCELO, .DOSSANTOS @FloridaMakes.com.
Okay. Listen, I really appreciate the time today. Incredible program. We are certainly going to encourage all the manufacturers that are engaged with our center to take the time to complete the survey and get this very valuable data back. So looking forward to it. We're looking forward to being at the Make More Manufacturing Summit in Orlando, too, in October. Small Biz Florida, I'm sure, will be right there front and center. So hopefully we'll be interviewing these winners at the conference.
Can't thank you enough, and the SBDC Network for all the work that you're doing and helping us promote this program. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Susan, thank you for taking time out. Marcelo, as always, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And with that, we'll bring to close this segment of Small Biz Florida. As always, we appreciate the support, and find us on Instagram and Facebook and, all those other places. So with that, we'll talk to you next time on Small Biz Florida.
This has been Small Biz Florida, created and produced by the Florida Small Business Development Center at Indian River State College. Your host for Small Biz Florida is Tom Kindred. Partners for Small Biz Florida include WPSL and WSTU and Indian River State College, named the 2019 winner of the Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence.